looks like it is going to be the Ness. If you want to talk about, I kind of hinted at it a little bit when I was talking about Roy earlier, but I mean, if you really want to talk about two characters that have become super popular in Chicago recently, these are the poster children.
Yeah, Falco in particular, unbridled aggression in neutral, and with the amount of reward he has, I wouldn't blame any Falco player for any amount of just pure brute force.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you have a character like Ness, who generally tools are really solid racking up damage and finding kills. I find most of the time the best Ness in the area are the ones who really understand their movement and have that unlocked. Their utilization of Psy Magnet, their utilization of platforms, and how they maneuver around their opponents. The PK Fire, did the PK Fire last long enough to actually stuff his jump? Is that what happened?
I think he got him through the Firebird and gave him enough time to throw out another.
Oh,
but
maybe. That was wacky. Up smash there is just going to barely clip Skokie, not enough to kill.
Grab in the other direction, didn't have the frames to throw out another move, but well timed on the spacing and the read.
Once again, just sort of playing coast to coast right now, going to one side of the stage or the other until someone can find a kill, and finally the back here is able to steal it for Skokie.
Yeah, lovely soft prediction on him, and Syphir strikes right back with that down tilt.
Yep. Falco's got a lot of different ways to kill you. You always have to be paying attention when you reach that like 120 mark. Anything that he can do, he can sneeze on you, and at that point you're going to die. And just like that, we have an even game, 2 stocks to 2.
That's a lovely drag down if he finds him, but Skokie, it doesn't matter, he'll find an extension because he doesn't have a safe way off the platform.
But that's that movement I was talking about. He was able to just sort of very sneakily maneuver over whatever Syphir was able to do on the bottom, and even though he got hit a little bit on that platform, it saved him from having to deal with maybe a frustrating edge guard from Syphir then.
With a zigzag from both players, it's going to be him scouting out that jump for the second time.
Yep, another solid back here, finding just Syphir in situations that are going to get him killed, and because of it, Skokie has had a small lead, but the lead nonetheless for basically the entirety of this game.
Skokie still has Syphir in an uncomfortable situation.
Sick.
Oh!
Oh my goodness, don't do it to him. First using the PK Thunder to get him into a situation where he's going to eat more damage, and then send out the same move with the intention of killing. Can't do that to my man, Syphir, my goodness.
Yeah, there's not many moves in this game that serve as conditioning for themselves, but I mean, Ness's PK Thunder, a shining example of that, and Skokie putting it on full display.
Yeah, and that's, you know, going back to what I was saying about a lot of the time, movement from Ness being the thing that I think separates the goods from the greats. Manipulating the movement of the other person, your opponent, the character they're playing, and finding different ways to kind of predict where they're going to end up, use the correct move to solidify that prediction, take advantage of it, deal damage, kill your opponent. Simple as that.
Yeah, Falco has very average airspeed. Obviously, the great jump height and that distance that the recovery allows you sort of mitigates it a little, but when you're caught in neutral, there's no substitute for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Certainly in the air against off, you have to watch out for all of the insane pressure he can dish out, but once again, that just comes down to how are you going to figure out the best way as Ness to get into situations that you know you can win without taking too much damage.
Go forward there from ledge, just out of range of that landing PK Fire.
Syphir definitely having the overall advantage right here. He hasn't been finding any of the setups that I know he likes to dish out, but he is going to be able to find the solid back air right there.
Laughter will not provide him any solace out the corner.
Just very, Skokie game 2 has been very slightly off. We have seen him throwing out moves that are just barely missing, back air spares, getting parried, or just very slightly going over Syphir's head. And these up tilts that he's throwing out is not giving out significant damage, but just enough to, I think, maybe frustrate Skokie.
Yeah, and part of that's a credit to Syphir in general, the way he's positioning himself, not necessarily moving, but if he's already in the right space, there's no need.
Back row is going to seal the deal. Good stuff from Skokie to take away that stock without going into triple digits damage size.
There's one up there. Another aerial as he lands on that flat. Still in command.
Misprediction there, or at least a misinput on that grab. Because of it, Syphir's going to find himself in a situation where he can hit another back air and take another stock.
Gets that Phantasm between the platforms just to ride out that invulnerability.
I like the spacing from Syphir. Game 2, just putting himself in situations where Skokie can't really apply appropriate pressure. Meanwhile, on Syphir's end, he's able to put Skokie in the air and put him in positions where he can find kill moves. But right there, that was once again, very solid job from Skokie's end to not take too much damage while taking a stock.
Yeah, Phantasm above the ledge, caught easily by Yo-Yo, but having said that, Skokie still in a triple-digit hole.
See if he can work his way back from it. Ness can be a pretty significant comeback character, but that is another stock that's going to be taken with back air.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first on-stream Game 3 of the day, and between these two, it's hard to call this a quote-unquote evenly matched set so far, because it's been one-sided on both Games 1 and Game 2, but they've gone different ways. So the adaptions that both players have made, combined with a probably more neutral pick if we go either back to PS2 or somewhere else, and it looks like we are going back to PS2, probably going to see some variation of the first game.
Yeah, you pointed it out, Game 1, Game 2, not incredibly even, but a lot of those times when that happens for Game 1 and Game 2, Game 3 usually ends up being just an all-out slobber knocker. At that point, both opponents have sort of figured out general strategies from one another, general movement patterns, and general tendencies even. So we'll see what happens here. Game 3, first one we're seeing on stream, like you said.
Yeah, at this point, a lot of players do like to get that last, trump cards out the bag in Game 2, particularly the player who has dropped Game 1. So, as you mentioned, this is just going to be who adapts, who makes the right guesses, the right predictions, and has their preparation better.
Right now, it's just been back and forth completely. Every once in a while, Syphir will land a hit, then Skokie will land a different one. Oh, but that one will be the most significant of Game 3 so far, a home run to the face. That'll take away Syphir's first stock, but just like that, without taking any damage, the fourth back air that's going to go ahead and take a stock. 4 in a row, actually. That back air has been so huge for Syphir.
Yeah, your prediction of a slobber knocker looking so prophetic right now. It's exactly what we're seeing.
Not able to find the exact spacing he wanted to get away from Syphir on that platform. He is not letting up with the damage he's applying. Those up airs and those up tilts have been so big for him, Game 2 and 3.
And I love that recognition from Skokie, even though it didn't work out just on that slight overextension with a full hop forward air.
You can see here he's trying to find play around the platform, Skokie, with those PK fires. Trying to find a good way around what Syphir's trying to throw, but it just hasn't amounted to anything.
Up throw, that's a bit of trap on the platform, but still another up tilt as he finds it. Doesn't mix up the DI well enough. At center stage, that's a bit of an ask too.
Yeah, very solid patience to be able to block all of those moves. Not get lulled into anything Skokie's trying to do to get even more damage onto Syphir. Just playing his own game, playing very patient, not going too out of his comfort zone. He's just dealing damage when he needs to here and there, and then going for the kill when he sees he has an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, but this is perhaps where Syphir can take, or Skokie, excuse me, can take advantage. A lot of Falco's neutral options that he's been utilizing his best so far, not necessarily safe on hit at low percent.
Right now, it feels like Syphir isn't able to find the exact same momentum he had, taking away the first couple stocks from Skokie. Skokie trying to do as much as he can to try to pressure Syphir into a situation right now where he can take advantage. He's going to take 68%, but that back air is going to connect.
Far from out of it, and that'll be even more damage. Doesn't go for that down throw, goes for the up throw. With the amount of mileage he's got on off juggle thus far, I don't disagree with the decision.
And Falco just literally punted away fire, making sure that he doesn't take more damage from that or set himself up in a situation where maybe he could even lose the game. But this is about as even as you wanted to see Game 3 be, 86 to 73. We're getting to we're very quickly approaching last stock, last hit.
Another yo-yo at ledge, not going to die that time, but have to imagine he won't survive another.
Oh no! I don't know if he meant to take advantage of that or try to. Oh my goodness! And you know that one's got a sting for Skokie. I don't think, and I'm not Skokie, I don't think he meant to grab ledge there. I think I think in that situation, you seeing that he's trapped off stage with PK Fire, you go for back air or down air. But going to ledge right there, I don't know.